What's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of Reddit Rainbow, where I go through and answer life's most important questions according to r/ask Reddit. Today's question: what is the most uncomfortable question you can ask someone? Let's begin, shall we? How come I wasn't invited? For extra cringe, ask this in a loud voice as you crash an ongoing party that you were not invited to. Bonus points if you start hyperventilate crying. When I was like 11, I actually did this. I had no idea why I wasn't invited, and I convinced my parents that I was. I got dropped off and actually started crying midway through because I was just wondering why I wasn't invited. I was not a good 11-year-old. You set off a memory of being 14, 15 and discovering my friends had a sleepover and they hadn't invited me. I was crushed. They did say it was because they thought my mom wouldn't let me go, which would have been true, but my poor teenage brain went straight to "you're a loser, no one wants you" mode. Unfortunately, my mind says the same thing, but it's okay, people will want you and you will be the best person ever. That's wholesome. Unfortunately, my mind never left this phase. Oh boy, that's oof. Oof. Alright. In high school, this one kid in my circle of friends had a party and literally invited every other person we were friends with, but he didn't like me, so I wasn't invited. It was a beautiful Friday night in the springtime, and it was perfect weather to go out and do stuff, but I had nobody to hang out with because they were all there. On Monday, I straight up asked him, "Hey, if you're not going to invite me to something next time, can you at least leave me someone to hang out with?" I don't know how that made me look, but at that point, I didn't care. Oh, go down to the next answer. A non-pregnant woman, how far along she is. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. What else we got here? If you come back in, if you come in the back office with me right now, just you and me, are you going to be cool about it or be a snitch? Asked by my old boss at a grocery store. He was just offering me shots of Fireball because it was almost closing time on New Year's Eve. But that phrasing, people, like Archer always says, phrasing. It sounded kind of fishy. Sounded super fishy. Are we still friends, or who's your best friend? Especially when one of your friends asks it. Is it in yet? If you have to ask, buddy. I was starting an IV on a patient. She said something like, "I was going to ask you if it was in yet. I didn't even feel it." I wanted to say something like, "Normally this is the worst thing for a man to hear so bad, but professionalism." Genuinely curious, how does one respond to this? Edit, asking for a friend. Are you uncomfortable? If they say no, then you should reply with, "Do you want me to make you uncomfortable?" While unbuckling your belt. Then when they panic and say no, you take off your belt and put on a new one. But it has to be bright flamboyant colors. Are you a contortionist? No. Do you want to be? Like right now or like on Earth in general? No context. What do you think of me? Whenever someone says this to me, I'm always so puzzled and awkward about the whole thing. What do you want me to say? I feel that. I feel that. Did you bathe properly today? This is a conversation I had to have with a coworker once. His smell was very distracting for everyone in the office. Guy's wife had died, and he just sort of stopped taking care of himself afterwards. That's actually sad, man. Come on. A couple of us got him set up with a therapist, but that's good. He left the company shortly after for a less stressful job. Okay, but I saw on Facebook a while later the guy is doing much better. Well, that's good to hear. That's very wholesome. I'm glad that worked out for Smelly Widow. Depends on the person. For a lot of women, it's so when are you guys going to have a baby? Yeah, I don't want to get into that. Keep scrolling. Why does no one love me? Well, have you tried paying them with my kindness and dollars? What kind of debt are you in? The mafia are currently fighting a turf war over the collection of said debt. It's made me pretty popular. Oh my god, dude, you're gonna die. Well, apparently it's taboo to talk about how much money you make or anything about your financial situation unless you're really rich. So that seems to make people pretty uncomfortable, in the US at least. Honestly, I don't get this. I'm super open about my financial situation. Granted, it's pretty easy to explain. Same, I currently make zero monies as a student. Great, now you made this thread uncomfortable. I don't like talking about money. That's not very professional. I don't like doing that. It starts arguments, creates tension between yourself and coworkers, and some awkward situations. Oh. Hey, we need to talk. This is the worst, especially over text. My boss texted me the other day, call me. My blood turned to ice. Of course, it ended up being some inconsequential thing he had a question about. Okay, I feel this because I was at work one day and I had to go run an errand. And when I got back, my boss came over the intercom and said, Dakota, I need to see you in my office immediately. And I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do wrong? So I get in there, and he's like, hey man, wrote paychecks early. Here's your paycheck. Also, the ice cream truck came by, and I got you an ice cream sandwich. I'm like, dude, that's way less terrifying than I imagined. Can we become best friends after meeting for 3 days? Why do people do that? People do that? Yeah, surprisingly, it's not like, hey, you are so nice, we will be BFFs someday. It's, let's become BFFs. Unless they were super, super weird, I'd find it hard not to be flattered by that, even if I didn't like them very much and had no intention of being their best friend. Okay, yeah, sure, that's nice. I saw an old high school acquaintance at a club once. She had always been super skinny in high school, but this night she had a very pronounced belly. I assumed since she had always been skinny and only had grown in her belly that she was pregnant. She was not. Oh, that goes with that the earlier response. Chicks get bare bellies too. LOL. Yeah, that's true. On a scale of 1 to 10, how pretty do you think you are? Bad, because if you give yourself a high score, they'll assume that you're egotistical, and if you give yourself a low score, they'll either assume that you're insecure or that you're fishing for compliments. Everyone always answers this with 7. I say 7 if the person asking is hot. If they're not, I'm a 6. In case you're curious. Did you just say I'm ugly? Depends. Are we talking about your personality or your actual looks? It's all subjective. What do you think I am? Choose wisely. Where's my hug? Can you tell me something about yourself? Yep. If it's not in a professional setting, my go-to is I have 3 nipples. Oh my God, I have 3 nipples. Depending on their response, it's either a great conversation starter to break the ice or we wouldn't get along well anyway. Ah, that's fair. I get that. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? This is why I hate interviews. I don't even see myself doing anything in an hour and they think I have 5 years planned already. What the f? Yeah, true, true. Say, I see myself with your job. Total mad lad move. Total mad lad move. Man, I don't recommend that. That's a hilarious answer, and I totally respect anybody that actually comes out and says that, but probably not the best move, or it may show gumption. I don't know. Like 50-50, wouldn't try it. A friend of mine had this at a job interview. His reply was, "Your chair, mate." Did he get the job? Not only did he get the job, but everyone in the building started clapping at this guy's pure wit. Everyone was cheering so loud that window panes began to crack. While the structural support of the premise began to fail, the building erupted into flames while simultaneously collapsing onto itself. Some estimate about 200 to 300 perished that day. This guy's pure wit created another 9/11 in a job interview, and that is insane. Do you think your friends ever regret meeting you? Oh God, definitely. To the gay couple, which one of you is the girl boy? Oh God. Oh, not touching that one. Why do you have cut marks on your arm? Cat got me. Yeah. That cat makes some surprisingly parallel scratches. Yeah, she's a bit of a neat freak. Dang. Male ER nurse here. I'm always asking embarrassing questions to the female patients, especially if they're young. Are you currently sexually active? Do you have any STDs? Was asked by the charge nurse to discharge a 16-year-old female patient for vaginal discharge and to tell her how to clean and medicate herself. I told her no. Do you really want a guy to tell a young girl how to clean herself and to not have sex for 3 months while on meds? She agreed and did it herself. Well, thank God for that. I wouldn't do it. Have you ever considered plastic surgery? That's just insulting. Ooh. Do you have a sister by chance? Would you settle for a brother? Would you settle for me? Ass is ass. Oh, God. Why is that clown following you? He's my boyfriend. That sounds like something my girl would say. We're totally gonna have sex, right? Probably not. Aren't you pregnant? Oh, God. That's rough. When are you due? It's not uncomfortable when the woman is pregnant, but when she isn't, well, yeah. Why are you so quiet? Do you want to go out? Do I have a chance? Probably not. What are your 5 biggest hopes, dreams, fears, and regrets? At a job interview, do I have to do a drug test? Yeah, which drugs are we testing? You do now? Yeah, buddy, if you want to fast track yourself to peeing in a cup, ask if there's a drug test. Because if there wasn't a drug test, there's a drug test now. And you're probably going to fail if you have to ask that question. I actually asked this question once and I was told if we tested everybody, we wouldn't have enough employees. I've legitimately been told that myself. Actually, more than once. And that's probably true in a lot of circumstances. I wouldn't doubt that in the slightest. Doctor in front of parents. Are you sexually active? Now that's when you start bragging. Your dad fist bumps you when your mom isn't looking. I only do anal. Whether your parents are there or not, and no matter how old you are, if you say no, they assume you're lying. My asexual ass has been forced to take so many unnecessary pregnancy tests. It's a precaution, honestly. It makes sense on their part. It does make sense, but it's still frustrating and annoying. No, where are you actually from? Every damn time. West Philadelphia, born and raised, and the playground is where I spent most of my days. I'm from Alabama, so I'd get the, do you bang your cousins or something along those lines? Well, do you? You didn't answer the question. Your mom is my cousin, so yes. Oh, God. One time I asked a guy where he was from. I sincerely meant where in the state because this was in a college town mostly populated by people not local to the area. He happened to have Asian features and wasted no time in responding, not from Asia. He was kind of a presumptive dick in other conversations I had with him. A vagina. What about me seems interesting? I never know how to respond to a question like this. Long story short, absolutely nothing. There's not a lot interesting about me. I'm a big freaking dork, and I sit here making Reddit and tech videos, and I play Star Wars and watch stupid movies. Did you remember to turn the stove off? No, I let it reboot overnight with a software update, and that was probably a smart-ass response, but, you know, like in my uncle's house, they have all Wi-Fi appliances, so like I'm not even shocked that would be a legitimate answer. I hope it's not a Samsung. Oh God. Wintoast. No wait, that's not a toaster. Do you install Skyrim on it? Skyrim, I have that on my light bulb. Can I talk to you about Jesus? What's he done now? I swear he's grounded for a month this time. I mean, he's been taking an awful long time to show up. Shouldn't his dad set a curfew or something? Oh my God. Oh God. On a first date, have you ever actually had a sexually transmitted infection or disease? Who's asking? Oh, okay. You probably should ask that on the first date, but like you absolutely should never ask that on the first date. First time you have sex, I mean maybe, but like rubber, dude, come on. Uncomfortable but necessary. I had a girl tell me that she had a fully preventable with a condom STD before we had sex the first time. It was awkward for a minute, but I couldn't possibly have more respect for her honesty and vulnerability. Okay. We ended up dating for a bit, and thanks to her honesty, I don't have an STD. She's a wonderful person, and if the world had more people like her, it would be a safer place to live. Okay. Necessary before sex, but not on a first date. If you're on a first date and someone starts asking questions as if you're definitely gonna frick, that's super awkward. I can see that. Look, like, I'm a big goofball. I'm almost certain I've asked that question on a first date before, and I just would. I just wouldn't. Don't do it. If you have any real intention of dating this person, I absolutely would not do that. But what do I know? Oh crap! I can't alt tab. Oh no. Well, I'm cutting the video short because my virtual machine background is acting weird, and that's probably about 10 minutes anyway. Welcome to Reddit Rainbow, guys. I'm gonna do this. I don't know, maybe every day. We'll see. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, dislike. Just hit a button because the algorithm doesn't care. Just engage with it.